Every single time you experience a sudden wave of panic, anger, or nervousness, your brain executes a hostile takeover of your physical body. Before you can even process the emotion logically, your facial muscles flinch, your pupils dilate, and your eyes blink rapidly. You believe you are hiding your thoughts, but to a trained observer, your face is screaming your deepest secrets. Most dark psychology channels tell you to just stay calm or stop moving. But this amateur advice is completely useless in high-stakes situations. When your adrenaline is spiking, telling yourself to calm down actually increases your internal panic. You cannot stop a biological reflex through sheer willpower. You need a structural system to override your brain's hardware. This specialized system is known as the Unreadable Face Protocol. It is a highly advanced cognitive framework used by deep cover operatives, elite poker champions, and high IQ strategists to completely decouple their internal emotions from their external expressions. In this video, we will break down the literal neuroscience of how to build an absolute behavioral shield. To permanently turn off your microexpressions, you must first understand the biological war happening inside your skull right now. Your facial expressions are governed by two completely separate neural pathways that are constantly fighting for control of your muscles. The first pathway is the subcortical system, which is driven entirely by your primitive, emotional limbic system. The moment you feel threatened or surprised, this subcortical look professional. The entire secret to becoming completely unreadable is learning how to intentionally accelerate the cortical system to suffocate the subcortical reflex. The first core protocol of building an unreadable face is a physical biohack called the three-point anchor. When people try to look neutral, they usually make the mistake of freezing their entire face. This tight, rigid tension looks incredibly unnatural and instantly signals to a high IQ observer that you are actively hiding something or experiencing high anxiety. To bypass this trap, you must deliberately relax three specific, highly volatile muscle groups that your limbic system always tries to hijack first. Point 1 is the corrugator supercilii, which are the small muscles between your eyebrows that cause you to frown or knit your brows when stressed. You must consciously smooth this area out, creating absolute horizontal flatness. Point 2 is the masseter muscle, or your jawline. When adrenaline spikes, humans naturally clench their teeth. You must counter this by leaving a tiny invisible gap between your upper and lower teeth while keeping your lips sealed. Point 3 is your lower eyelids. Relaxing these three anchors creates a resting mask that feels perfectly natural but communicates zero data. Your eyes are the absolute weakest point in your psychological defense system. When your brain registers a threat or a lie, your microsaccades, which are tiny, involuntary eye movements, increase by over 300%. You scan the room frantically, or your pupils dilate wildly. If a manipulator can control your eyes, they can easily chart your internal state. The Unreadable Face Protocol fixes this through a cognitive manipulation called Gaze Dissociation. Instead of focusing sharply on the other person's pupils, which triggers your mirror neurons to mimic their emotions, you must expand your visual field into soft focus. You look directly at the bridge of their nose, right between their eyes, while widening your peripheral vision. To the observer, it looks like you are maintaining intense, alpha-level eye contact that is completely unshakable. But in reality, your brain is processing them as a blurred, unemotional object. This simple structural glitch prevents their aggressive body language from triggering an emotional mirror response inside your amygdala, keeping your physical heart rate dead calm. Amateur manipulators love to deploy sudden, highly loaded questions or personal insults to shock you into a tell. They are looking for that immediate, half-second fit. Do not blink, do not change your posture, and do not open your mouth. Let their words hang in the dead air of the room completely unanswered. During this 2-second vacuum, your prefrontal cortex has enough time to catch up, analyze the malicious intent, and design a perfectly cold response. More importantly, this absolute silence completely reverses the psychological pressure. The manipulator expects an emotional defense. When they receive a blank wall, their own brain panics, forcing them to over-explain. You cannot maintain a perfect physical mask if your internal thoughts are racing with absolute fury or panic. The ultimate level of the protocol requires you to practice cognitive reframing. When someone is actively disrespecting you or trying to manipulate you, stop viewing the event as a personal attack on your ego. Your ego is what causes the physical flinch. Instead, transition your mind into the role of a detached clinical scientist observing a specimen. Tell yourself mentally, This individual is currently executing a low-level dominance play because their own insecurity is flaring up. By analyzing their toxic behavior as data, rather than absorbing it as trauma, you completely cut the wire to your emotional engine. When you strip away their power to hurt your pride, your limbic system stays completely offline. Your blood pressure remains low, your breathing remains deep, and your face naturally remains as still as carved stone. You aren't pretending to be unshakable. You have genuinely transformed the interaction into a one-sided psychological dissection, where you hold all the data. Mastering the Unreadable Face Protocol is not about becoming a heartless robot or an edgy anime character. It is about establishing absolute sovereign autonomy over your own biological hardware. In a modern society driven by manufactured outrage, digital panic, and constant emotional baiting, the person who owns their own face is the only one who is truly free. Stop giving away your strategic advantage to every toxic manager, manipulative partner, or insecure rival who wants to test your boundaries. Stop allowing the external world to play your emotions like an instrument through cheap, calculated triggers. Build your physical shield, practice the three-point anchor, and master the art of the strategic tactical pause. The next time you walk into a high-stress room, an intense negotiation, or a toxic confrontation, do not bring a loud defensive ego. Bring the cold, unyielding silence of a master themselves against your mask and win.